Yo, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, Imani, and in this episode, we are going into history of South Florida. And in today's show, we're doing the history of the Metrorail, which is a elevated transit train system here in the Miami-Dade County area. And right now, we are at the corner of Northwest 62nd Street, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, and Northwest 27th Avenue, which is also called the Kerry P. Meek Boulevard. We are going to be taking a trip on the Metrorail, and it would have been a great idea to learn about Metrorail by making our first stop at one of the historical stations. This is not a historical station, but it is named after a civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We are here on the area where, as you see, these little signs here are markers that have quotes that have been quoted by Dr. Martin Luther King. When evil men plot, good men must plan. This one, we must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. And these are all marked around a little mini side park, or a little mini park that sits on the station's platform. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to walk to the train station. I'm going to give you a little in-depth information of the Metrorail system as well indulge, and throughout the thing we're going to do a fast forward. As you can see, the Metrorail system opened up in May of 1984. I was thinking of the stop that we're going to. It opened up in May of 1984. This station actually opened up a year later in 1985. And I believe the reason why they opened up this station is because it was named after a great civil rights leader as well. Alright, tap my card, go in. Now this station is one of the very few stations that have a train system that the station is one of the very few stations that have the platforms on the outside. Most of the train platforms that you see here has platforms that sit in the center, and the trains come on the outside. So when you're coming up, you can either go north or south. Here, this is the mezzanine area where you either can take the northbound train from this platform or then walk over and go up to the southbound platform, because this train has different platforms and different most train platforms have platforms that go in the middle, so you can easily access either train. But the trains that opened up in 1984, most of the trains have center platforms because they reside like that. You have the platforms that will open up later on down the line, where the train platforms have outside platforms, and I'm going to show you this right now. Where you see this platform is where the trains come on the inside, so you have to either go on the southbound platform or the northbound platform. The station that we will be going to is the Palmetto station, which we will be venturing to, which is the last stop. The Metrorail system, as you know, has a full 20 plus trains. From this, we're on the northbound side, where we have Dr. Martin Luther King, the north side station, Tri-Rail station, where you transfer to the Tri-Rail trains, the higher layer station, Okeechobee, and the Palmetto. And we're going to give you an in-depth of the Palmetto station as well. Let me get back to the history of the Tri-Rail. As I said, Tri-Rail opened up in May of 1984, and it was only very few stations that opened up in 1984. And this station opened up along with a few other stations in 1985. And the majority of the stations that opened up in 1984, well, all of the stations that opened up in 1984 have the platforms that sits in the middle, and the train tracks are on the outskirts. So when you come up, you can either go left for one for either northbound or southbound, or right for northbound or southbound, depending on where you're at. And I am on the northbound side, which is only a few more stops before you get to the final destination. The train at first, when it first opened up, Okeechobee was the last stop for the Metrorail trains. And back in 2003, they extended the service to Palmetto, making Palmetto Station the last stop on the northbound end. The southbound end, the last stop is at Dadeland South Metrorail Station. If you looked at my previous video when I did a video of Dadeland Mall and Dadeland Station, you would saw that Dadeland North Metrorail Station sits roughly a minute walking distance from the Dadeland Station. Now, this station was, like I said earlier in the video, was named after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Roughly when it first opened up, they called this station the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza Station. But as time went on, they just eventually changed it to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Station. Now let me give you a distance look. If you can see far out, I forgot to tell you that this is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. office building, which opened up roughly maybe 20 plus years ago. And over here, if you saw the empty lot, that used to be the parking garage, not only for the office building, but it was the parking garage for the Metrorail. But about a year ago, they closed it and tore it down due to poor structuring, and that, the structure is not safe. So most likely they're going to be rebuilding a new parking garage, because the parking garage, like I told you, served as the parking garage for the Metrorail train riders to park their cars and ride the train, and also it was parking for the people who works in this office building here as well. And this train station was named after the civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which also sits on the boulevard where they named him afterwards. And down the street is also a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Park, which I'll do a video in the upcoming weeks of as well. And so, because pretty much this area is basically, a lot of the stuff around this area is named after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, you're gonna see one of our updated trains, because back in 2017, the first new model trains rolled out in 2017, because for over 20 plus years, well, roughly 30 plus years now, they've been using the old trains, which was outdated. And back in 2017, they started rolling out these trains, which is the newer model trains, which is now more sufficient, more reliable, and they wasn't easily to break down, or they wasn't easily to basically malfunction while in service. So this is what they are using. And plus, it does have signage. This says the green line to Dadeland South. There are two train systems. There is a green line and an orange line. The green line consists of the trains traveling north from Palmetto Metrorail Station all the way to Dadeland South Station, and then from Dadeland South back to Palmetto Metrorail Station. I want to let the train go by, because I know you probably can't hear me because of that. And then there's the orange line, which is the newer line that started operating in 2012, which consists of the orange line, which is the train that operates to the Miami Intermodal Center, which is the Miami International Airport Station, all the way to Dateland South Station, from Dateland South all the way to the Miami International Airport, which is the Miami Intermodal Center, which I'll be doing a video of that location in the coming weeks as well. And so there are two lines, but this station, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. station, only is operated by the Green Line. You can catch the green and the orange line starting at Arlington Heights, which is 2 stops away. If you can see further down there, let me see if I can zoom in further down, there's another station there, and that is the Brown substation. That's roughly a couple of blocks away from this station as well.
Hey, what's up, man?
Fast forward, I want to fast forward the video so we won't waste time on here, because I want to get more of the other station as well as this station as well. The train will be here in 2 minutes. If you can see, the train is down there with the lights. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's a train coming down there, and you'll see it. So once we get on the train, we're also going to fast forward. You're going to see me fast forwarding throughout the video so we can get an understanding, because I also want to get more of the Palmetto station as well, and a little bit about that station. I'll tell you more about that station, because besides the Miami International Airport station, that was one of the later stations that opened up. A lot of these stations opened up in the 80s, you know, like most of the stations opened up in 84. This station, you had a couple of others that opened up in 85. And you know, most of these stations opened up in the 80s. You had very few that I don't think that opened up in the 90s. And back in the 2000s, you had 2 stations that opened up in 2000. That was the, of course, Palmetto station, and also the Miami International Airport. That's the sound that it makes. There's a female that does the northbound train approaching, and then there's a guy, a male, that does the southbound train that's approaching. So I don't think you get to hear the southbound train, but we saw the northbound train. So as we go, we're going to enter the train. We're going to give you an interior look of the inside of the train, and then we're going to fast forward over to the Palmetto station. And this is how the trains look on the inside. Okay. So this is the northbound train, Green Line, going to Palmetto. And we're going to fast forward, and I'll see you. Now normally they have an automatic machine that says the next station, but when it is not working, see right here, you see the little signage that normally tells you the time, the date, the time, and it also tells you which station that we're going to next. And it also sits right here too, and it also has all of the stations right here. But when it's not working, the driver of the train has to announce the next station. And if there is not a working elevator at the stations, they also have to inform you, just in case if you are a wheelchair ADA person or a person that has special needs that require an elevator. If the station is out of service, they have to inform you, so you can either get off at the station prior to the station you're getting off to, or the station after you're getting off, and you have to request a service from the security guard so they can have special transportation to escort you from station. Now the next station is Northside. If you was getting off at Martin Luther King and the train and the elevator there wasn't working, you would have to either get off at Brownsville. You would have to get off at Brownsville station going north if you was coming from south going north, or you would have to get off at Northside if you was going south to Dr. Martin Luther King, and you would have to see the security guard, and they will have to send a special transportation service over. This is the Northside Shopping Center, which I'll be doing another video within the upcoming weeks as well. And you will have to use a special, and they'll send like a special van or a special bus service or something for somebody who needs special transportation. This is one of the few stations that also has the outside platforms and not the inside platforms of the trains. Northside and Tri-Rail is one of the few stations that has a platform. Well, Martin Luther King, Northside, and Brownsville, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Northside, and Metrorail are the 4 northbound stations that actually have the outside platforms. And then you have several other stations on the south end that has outside platforms. The next station that we are approaching is the Tri-Rail station. Now this opened up in the late 80s, I believe 1989 or 86 if I'm not mistaken. I know it was around the time that Tri-Rail started their service. And it started service when Tri-Rail started service, and it was the only station that you can connect to Metrorail at the time. Now you have 3 stations where you connect to Metrorail from Tri-Rail. You have the Metrorail transfer station, which is the station we're coming up to. You have the Miami International Airport station, which is the new station I was telling you about earlier, and now you have the Miami Central station, where the White Line station. And if you looked at my previous video when I did a tour downtown Miami, you will see that Tri-Rail has a station there, and you can also connect to Metrorail from there as well. So we're going to fast forward this video, and I will see you in a little bit at the Palmetto station. Now before we get to the Palmetto station, I want to fast forward. Do you see all of the rail cars over there? This is the rail yard in or shall I say the West Part? Yeah, probably Bentley, where this is the rail yard where all of the trains come to and from. This is the only rail yard. Now, they do house trains further south, but they don't have a rail yard like this where all of the trains. And see, there are some buses that sits right there as well. I was trying to catch Metrorail cars that sit in the area, but I don't think I'm going to be able to catch them. But yeah, that is the rail yard that sits out. Well, once you leave Okeechobee Station, which we have, you will come across the rail yard. And then, because remember, Okeechobee was the last stop before they added the Palmetto Station. So now we're on our way to Palmetto Station, and fast forward, I will see you in a little bit at Palmetto. Okay, fast forward. If you were looking now, we are under the Palmetto Expressway. We're approaching the train station. Now let me give you a little bit of background about the Palmetto station. This station opened back up in 2003 as a connector for passengers and residents and motorists that needed a better connection to get to either downtown Miami or to the south part of Miami. It was a way to stop congestion on the 826 Palmetto Expressway. So we are now exiting the train. That is the Palmetto Expressway, and this is the Palmetto train station, which is the final destination on the northbound side of the Metrorail. Now, this is the only station in the Metrorail line that has a ground level platform. As you can see, when we entered that Dr. Martin Luther King, we had to go up the elevator to the mezzanine, then we had to go further up to the platform. This is the only station that has a ground level station and platform. As you can see, you know, the trains can depart from any side of the station, you know, and as you can see, there's a train right there, but that's not in service. That's probably a train that's sitting there as a backup to like if there's a train that gets out of service and stuff like that, because the trains do depart. The next train will be departing in 12 minutes, and that's probably the same train that I just got off of. Now, like I said, when it opened up, it had a 700 parking space, which is what you see out there, for people that instead of driving to work or taking the Palmetto, they had it where, okay, let's have it where we can build a train station over here so people can get off at this, because this is the 74th Street exit off of Palmetto. As you can see, the train stops here because the exit is over here. Like I was saying, in general, this is where, like if you didn't want to travel far, and you didn't want to travel, out of your way, you got off here, you park your car, and you took the train. Let's say, for instance, you was going to Jackson Hospital in the health district, or you was going to downtown Miami, or you worked in Dayland, and you stayed in Miami Gardens or anything. You took the train, you come here, you park here at this station, then you take the train all the way to Dayland, then you take the train coming back, which will provide less of a drive for you and more easier commute. This is one of the water fountains. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. It's not that cold. They have vending machines as well. We're gonna go on the outside of this train station. I'm gonna give you an outside look. This is the security station. This is the parking area, which is a 700 parking space. And this is the closest station to the now new, I haven't did a video there yet, but I believe I've said something about it. If I haven't said it, I'm going to say it now. Santa's Enchanted Forest used to be at Tropical Park. And when they closed for the pandemic, and then they reopened, but when they reopened, they moved to a location in Hialeah, which is right where the Hialeah station is. They had a location near the Hialeah Park Casino and Racing. And then I guess there was some problems with that, so they ended up moving their location out west, and we are about 5 minutes away in driving distance from that location. Now, there isn't a bus service that goes by there, but there is, this is the station you would get off at if you was wanting to, go there. You can probably walk there, or you can probably take a Lyft or Uber, and there, which is probably a 5-minute drive or so. Now, this is security. This is the entrance to the station, and stuff like that. Now, like I was saying, this station opened back up in 2003, and it was a station to relieve congestion off of the 826, which is right here, where you get here, you can park your car. As you can see, there's a lot of cars here. I'm not saying that all of these, you do have to pay for parking, so I'm not saying that all of these cars are here because they catch the train. But, because a lot of the people, and not only that, this was a station that's closest to Medley, where you can get off and you can, get closer to your jobs. Because as you don't know that, Medley, Florida is a neighborhood or a city that's west of the Palmetto Expressway. And there, at one point, there was bus service into the area of Medley in certain areas, but they discontinued it. It was called the Okeechobee Connection, which had bus service that went out to Medley, Florida, but they discontinued it because it wasn't a lot of people that was using the service. It was a minibus service that they started back in the early 2000s, but they discontinued it. And also as well, there was a bus, that went out there at Pacific Times that went to Medley Industrial Park, but they could discontinue the extended service out there. It used to go out there during the rush hours for people who worked in the Medley area and they needed to get to and from work. Because at one point my brother worked out there, and it was a hassle to get to and from Medley when there wasn't any bus service out there. Now, one of the services one of the bus services that used to be here that is no longer in service was this bus station, this Metrorail. As you can see, there's a bus leaving. This is provided by Route 87. Now, 87 is the bus that, it's like the Metrorail without the stations, because bus 87 travels all the way to Dayland North Metrorail station, which is the second station before the last station, which is Dayland South. Now, this bus cuts the red line. Now, as a person, you wouldn't take this bus from Palmetto just to go all the way down to Dadeland South. To Dadeland North Station. You would take this bus to go anywhere in between because it has certain stops at certain stops. It stops at, the Mall of the Americas, which is another location that we're about to visit in my next video. And it stops at certain areas and it goes through certain parts of Metrorail, because it's basically like the Metrorail bus. It goes through Metrorail, certain parts of Metrorail, and and Medley and all of that stuff. And there was another bus called the 175 Express, which was a bus that traveled from this train station north to a new park and ride lot that they built in Miami Gardens. But when COVID hit, they discontinued. They temporarily stopped service for that route because it was an express service that operated from this bus station, this train station, and then it traveled north onto the 826 Palmetto Expressway, and then it continued north onto the the I-75 Expressway to Miami Gardens Drive, where they had a park and ride bus station there. Now, like I said, when COVID hit, they discontinued the service or temporarily suspended the service. And then when they revamped all of the bus service, they just discontinued the service altogether, because as last year they did an overhaul bus system revamp of the bus system, and I'll probably do a video to tell you about that, and later on down the line, where they discontinued that bus route, and a lot of other bus routes they discontinued. So, in overall, with this station, it was a good idea to have this station because number one, it services the Medley and the surrounding areas like Hialeah Gardens, surrounding areas for people to get to and from work. So when you get off here and you work in the Medley area, down the street, like a 5-minute drive, there's a Walmart that's down the street where you can get easily access to. There's, areas in that, working areas. If you download the Go Miami-Dade Transit app, it'll tell you like a lot of points of interest for each station that house over here. Like they have, the Miami-Dade Animal Shelter and Animal Adoption Agency is in the area. Of course, the Sanders Enchanted Forest is over here, even though they only operate, through the Christmas holiday season, and they're about 5 minutes away, but they're not going to show you down the Miami-Dade Transit app, and also as well. And then there's other businesses over here, and plus this also serves as a thing that if you don't want to ride or drive down the Palmetto Expressway to get to your destinations, all you have to do is get off here, park your car, pay the $4.50 that it is for daily parking, or you get a monthly pass, and then you hop on the Metrorail to wherever you're going. This is still the same train that I got off of, and we're going to walk down. There's another service that comes here too. It's called the Dole Trolley, which is a little trolley service that operates in the Metrorail area. So, and it's a free service that operates in the Metrorail area, where you're going around like Metrorail. If you're going to any of the Metrorail businesses or anything, this is one of the bus stops that, is scratched. This is the 87 bus stop, which is, if you finna look at it, it is the Dadeland North Station. It goes to Dadeland North as that is. And this is the Metrorail trolley. I believe the 175 bus stop was the first bus bay, and the 87 is this bus bay, and then of course the trolley for the Metrorail trolley is here, and this is the area. We're coming towards the end of this episode. If you want to know more about the Metrorail system, you can go to miamidade.gov/transit. You can look up the Wikipedia Miami Metrorail. If you want to know more about their bus service, if you want to know about all the other stations as well, you can also look it up, because Wikipedia is one of the best ways of looking up stuff. And like I said, this train station opened back up in 2003, which was a godsend for a lot of people because it got them closer to their job. If you want to know about it, if you have any questions or comments, you can email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page as well. And if you want to know more about the transit system, you can contact the local transit officials, or you can also look it up and look on their website or download the Go app. If you have any memories of this train, of this station, or the Martin Luther King Jr. station, or anything, you can do that as well. This is the Roundtable Talk. I enjoy y'all watching my shows. Don't forget to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our other channels. I will see you in a little bit because I am on my way to another spot, which is another history spot, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I'm on my way to another spot. So this is the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.